Hello, my name is Rita. Today I'm going to talk about my story and what I went through with a pituitary tumor in my brain and Cushing's disease. I'm just going to start from the very beginning. So, let me bring up some pictures here so I can start from the beginning. Okay, so from the very beginning, this right here is what I look like. And I married my husband, and that was 30 years ago. So, I had a great life, 6 children, 4 stepchildren, 2 regular children, and now we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we have 8 grandchildren. So, that is one picture, and then, now this is all before we found out I had the tumor. This is how my life was. This is me when I moved to Las Vegas, and no, I take that back. This is me in Ohio when I was a flight attendant for the government at International Airlines. Okay, let me show you something else. Another picture first. Oh, okay. This is kind of me. This is me right here singing. When I was a kid, well, not a kid, but like a teenager and a wannabe singer. I had a great life. I was happy. Everything. Everything was great. Then we moved here to Vegas, and well, let me back up. When I was married to my husband and in Ohio, I kept breaking my bones, and we kept wondering, well, I'm just clumsy and I break my bones. One time a 2-liter bottle of pop fell on my foot, and the top part of my foot was broke. One time I landed on my foot wrong and it broke, but that was all in Ohio. So then we moved to Vegas, and let me see here. Well, wait a minute. There's a picture of me and my dad, and I've got a brace on my arm there. So that was before I knew I had a tumor. But, going back, the reason I'm showing you all these pictures is because I kept breaking my bones. That's the number one sign. They don't want to tell you that you have weak bones. I probably had this tumor for years and didn't know it. At least years, because I was breaking my bones before I married my husband. So, you tell me. Alright, so, now, let's see, I guess, let's start with, the symptoms of the Cushing's, I guess. Let me look at these pictures first. Make sure I didn't miss, okay. Alright. So the first symptom was, me always breaking my bones. Here in Vegas, when we moved here, I was a flight attendant. Very happy, had a great life. But then, all of a sudden, out of the blue, I started suffering with depression. And, I just didn't want to get out of bed and just, I didn't really care for anything anymore. And then I started getting sick physically. My body ached. I couldn't move. I could barely get up and go to the restroom. I was just in pain and didn't know why. And then I started gaining weight, and a lot of weight. Because I used to be a fitness trainer, and I trained people, and I was fit and going to try out for Miss Fitness, so I knew how to eat and stuff. So when I went to the doctor, they're like, oh, go on a diet, they're you're just eating wrong, and that's why you're gaining weight. They didn't listen to my other symptoms. I gained 20 pounds in a month. Next month I go back, it'd be 30 more. It was crazy. It was, I had gained so much weight until I ended up looking like, let me bring the picture up, looking like this. Can you guys see that? Yeah, that. That doesn't even look like me. That's, like, terrible. So then, oh, of course, this is me, again, walking with a cane because I can't, I'm just so weak, we didn't know what was going on with me. Oh, yeah, and then another picture was me. I tried out for a play. It was called Little Abner, and I got one of the leading parts. I was one of the wives. But then during rehearsal, I broke both of my heel and then my ankle just dancing. So that's crazy. So then, I was in a wheelchair because both my feet were broke, but I had a great time to play anyways. But still didn't know I had a pituitary tumor. Yeah. Here's me in braces again with my husband. He's a wonderful man. With a cane. Cane's behind me, but didn't know why we were breaking these bones and why I was aching. And, this is a picture of me. My stepdaughter got married, and I was getting fat. And I don't know if you can tell on my arms, I have wraps around my arms. Well, those were morphine patches because I was in so much pain, I had to have the patches on. And, it was ridiculous. And still didn't know I had a tumor. So then finally, I just, I was so sick. So they sent me to an endocrinologist. And then he looked at me and said, and listened to my symptoms, and he said, you have a pituitary tumor. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah. He says, we need to send you to San Francisco because they don't do that here. And I am not wearing my teeth because you wouldn't be able to understand me. So, my tumor didn't show up in my MRI, so I had to go up there for this test. Some kind of, I don't know, I don't even know what it was, but I went up for a test, and it said the tumor was inside the pituitary gland, and it needed to come out. Well, I said, okay, I'll think about it, and, it was scary. I didn't know what to expect, and, I didn't know that. Anyways, I waited 2 more years. So during those 2 years, I ended up having kidney stones. I went to the hospital by ambulance, and they told my husband and daughter that they needed to go in and put a stent in because the kidney stone wouldn't pass. And of course, that's another symptom from Cushing's is kidney stones. Then I ended up in a coma because I went septic on him. Well, it was a drug-induced coma. They said my body needed to be relaxed to heal. But come on, going septic on a kidney stone? Another part of the Cushing's. And this is while I know that I have the tumor now, but I don't know, how dangerous it is. And he told me I did have Cushing's. So yeah, I went through the kidney ordeal. Oh, and then I had 2 broken wrists, a broken back, and 2 broken legs at one time. Just like turning the wrong way, getting out of bed. That's how bad my bones were. The tumor was sucking up all the calcium. Another sign that you have a pituitary tumor. Oh, that thing ruined my life. I wanted them to give it to me and put it in a jar so I could bitch at it every day. It made me so mad. It ruined my life. I was on top of the world, and then boom, I'm not, and now, yeah, I've lost the weight and everything, and finally decided to go get the tumor out. Got the tumor out, and, then there was adrenal crisis I had to fight with. You had to be on steroids. So, adrenal crisis is when you just keep throwing up. You throw up your own spit. I mean, those of you that have had it, you know what it is. You can die from adrenal crisis. So you go in the emergency room. I'm trying to tell these doctors, I have adrenal crisis. I had a pituitary tumor. They took it out and, just put me, give me some steroids and this will stop. They wouldn't listen to me. They didn't listen to me until my one doctor came like 2 days later. And by then it was awful. Those of you that have had it, what adrenal crisis is. It's terrible. And then, oh, the way I wanted to tell you how they did the surgery, they did go up through my nose, and, they had to cut half of the pituitary gland in half, take the tumor out, then they took fat from my stomach and put it up there where the hole was, and then the doctor, came to me, he's like, so how are you feeling? I go, well, I'm not hungry because you got my stomach up here in my brain, so, I'm not hungry, so I guess that's a good thing. Ha ha ha. Anyways, let's get back to the recovery of after they take the tumor out. Didn't know that my teeth would all fall out. That's why I don't have any teeth. And you guys know about that story. So, that it's just one thing after another. After my teeth fell out and I looked in the mirror, I couldn't take it. I tried to kill myself like 2 times and ended up in a mental hospital. And they had me so drugged up that I could not even sit in a wheelchair. I fell out of a wheelchair when I was there because they had me so drugged up. The reason they had me in a wheelchair was because they had me so drugged up and I couldn't walk, so they said, put her in a wheelchair. Well, I fell out of the wheelchair right on the cement floor, and they're like, okay, tie her in a wheelchair. When my husband came to see me, he like freaked out. He could not believe it, This is what you go through after Cushing's, after you take the tumor out. I lost all the weight and stuff. Didn't know I was going to lose my teeth. Yeah, and, you can see where, I fell, like, right on my forehead there. Right there. And it was just awful. I mean, I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. I wouldn't wish this on anybody. I mean, it was just terrible. There's a picture of my little granddaughter. I don't know if I showed you that, wearing my braces and having my cane and making fun of me. But, yeah, I just brought these pictures up to show you, yeah. And here's a picture of me. Adrenal crisis. Awful. Just awful. Let me see. Let me show you. I just want to see if I can show you some more. Oh, that was me and my husband before I knew I had a tumor. And we were Sonny and Cher. We were DJs. He's such a great man. I love him so much. Been married 30 years. I think I said that before. But, yeah, here's another fat picture. Adrenal crisis. That don't look like me, does it? That's not me. No, not me at all. You guys saw me. This is what I look like before, that's me. That's what I'm supposed to look like. Yeah. But, yeah, the tumor just messes you up. Just, takes your teeth and your calcium and the depression that you go through, I still fight depression every day because, I don't have any teeth. I don't have a life. I want to get a job. I've been trying to get a job. My hair was real long. Then I cut it off like this. So this is how long my hair is, but didn't like it once I did it. So then I put these braids in. So, all I want to say is when you have Cushing's, it never ends when you get the tumor out. It just doesn't end. And the worst is the depression, but that comes with, you're losing your teeth and the life that you had to live. But I'm thankful because going through all this, my wonderful husband stuck beside me, and he's still beside me. He has never left me, and he never will. He sees me like this every day, and he still loves me. He's a wonderful man. So those of you that can relate to this video, I want to hear from you. I want to hear from all the cushies out there, okay? Alright, this is Rita Dermer. I want to hear from you. Bye.